that is always been the risk with NVIDIA's growth is because of this concentration, whether it's from the hyperscale cloud players or the model providers like OpenAI, if they were to do things on their own chip, that will have a big impact on NVIDIA. And clearly, OpenAI feels that they can optimize the chip and the model to run better on their own chip. And that's probably why you're seeing such a strong reaction. But clearly, this is a 2026 event. So we'll still have to wait in terms of how that chip is going to stack up against what NVIDIA will have in 2026.
That's kind of where I wanted to go, Mandeep. I guess if I were an NVIDIA shareholder, I knew competition was coming. It just has to. But at the end of the day, I feel comfortable with the quality of my chips and my technology. Is that kind of the feeling here today?
There is. And so, look, I mean, for a company like Google, which is also training their own model on their TPUs, they haven't been able to sell it to a non-Google model provider, right? So it's really optimizing for your stack, which is what Apple has done over the years. But clearly, that's worked very well for them. So Google really was the first one to train their model on their own chips. And I think that's what OpenAI is going after, is they feel they can do something similar to Google. In fact, the people that they've hired to design this chip are, people from Google. So they've poached a lot of people from there. And look, I think given the scale at which OpenAI and Google are operating, the chip costs are pretty substantial. So if they are able to optimize the chip even for their own use, that's going to have a big impact on the gross margins, which is why you see a big stock move, on NVIDIA, because NVIDIA relies on these large hyperscalers to continue to buy chips from them.
Okay, so NVIDIA down, and the shares have actually deepened their losses, now lower by 4.1%. Advanced Micro Devices is off even more, Mandeep, losing 7%. Where does this leave AMD?
I mean, we know the revenue run rate for Broadcom now, it's over $20 billion. In fact, they guided to acceleration. Anytime you see a company guide to accelerating revenue growth, that's great news in terms of multiple expansion. And so for a company like AMD, whose hope was this market is large enough that they will also get that lift in terms of growth rates, clearly Broadcom is growing ahead of them and substantially. I mean, they guided to $6 billion plus in next quarter. So, Broadcom has shown 10 consecutive quarters of quarter-over-quarter growth. And it's going to continue because that's been their guidance for 2026. So from that perspective, AMD gains seem somewhat muted when you contrast that with Broadcom's expected growth.